Welcome to AEW Uncensored. I'm here with my man Bill. We are the Bridge and Tunnel Connect, Nolan Hash, and the Beast from the East with the least research.
Figured I would let Alan do it this week. He felt confident. My confidence is waning 3 weeks in a row now, probably 4 weeks if I really think about it. So I said, fuck it. Let Alan do it. He was gung-ho to do it, so... what's up, everybody? As always, before we start, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the thumb. UncensoredAlliance.com. You find everything we do there. Email us, AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. We are on Facebook. In the search bar, put AEW Uncensored Podcast. We have a page and a group. Like the page, join the group. We're on all third-party podcast applications, as well as Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, and iTunes. Please write us a review on iTunes. That helps us a lot. We'll get to that in a second. Also, if you want to join us, just speaking of the reviews on iTunes that we'll talk about, if you have opinions and you have stuff to say, feel free to join us on the podcast at any time. Whether you like what we say or we don't, or you don't, either way, join us on the podcast live. We have an open forum. So join us on Skype, link in the description of everywhere you can find this podcast. So just send us a message on there and we'll link up with you. I think right? Oh, we are live 3:05 Eastern every Sunday, United States Eastern time. So if you want to join us live on Facebook or YouTube, that's where we'll be at that time every week. Otherwise, just listen to the podcast version. And
sorry, I'm just finishing up here.
No. That was me, because I'm like, did I fucking start recording the show? You know me, man. I'm fucking all over the place, bro. Yeah, so this is what's up, John. John in the
what's
chat.
up?
Shout out to you, brother. So this is great, bro. So we always ask for ratings. So it's funny, we never get the people who like the show to write ratings. Only the people who dislike the show write ratings. So we need some of you guys that actually like the show to please go and help bolster these ratings, bro. So anyway, last week I didn't really mention it, but got another one this week. So I figure, you know what, man, I'm gonna talk about both of them. It's pretty funny. So we got some ratings, right? So it goes, one's headline, "Don't bother." This show is awful. Everything is negative. I don't even know why they're doing a show. All right. So I will tell you, like, I'm on the verge of not doing this show. I mean, that's that. I mean, be honest with you. I mean, for me, professional wrestling, even though I like AEW, I just, like, at this point, it's like, do I really want to waste my energy on it? I like it and I'll support, I'll always root for them, but, I don't know at this point. Do I want to waste my life even doing this? Now I got a second show to watch. I've already gotten over Dark and Elevation and not even skimming through those. So do I really want to jump in on this second show and put my effort into this? I probably will, obviously, but I mean, yeah, you're right. It is negative, and we'll talk about that shortly. But okay, let's go to the one from last week that we got. Okay. This one's fucking great, and I know you really liked it. So the title of this one is Cornette Light. Both of these are 1 star, by the way. So
at least you got something.
He goes, right, yeah. Well, you have to put 1 or 5, so we got the worst. He goes, been looking for a good AEW podcast. This ain't it. By the way, your grammar sucks. It isn't, pal. No, I'm fucking around. Seriously. This is one step below Jim Cornette Shock Jock. Think of a toned down Jersey version of Cornette.
That's the best line. We need to actually put that as part of the intro. Nolan
Dude,
Hash,
you know,
the toned-down Jersey version of Cornette, and the beast from the East with the least research. We need to incorporate that now.
I am clipping this because, you know, I don't know why I didn't think to clip this and save it, but I'm clipping it. I will be saving it. I will be adding it to our splash page. So I might even take this other guy's fucking comment too. But that, oh my god! But that is like, this is one step below Jim Cornette. Shock jock. Think of a toned down Jersey version of Cornette. Oh my god, I fucking love you guys. So let's touch on this stuff. You know, early on we were like, you know, like you were more probably on board with Cornette stuff, but I was more like Cornette just rails against guys just to rail against them. You're not under like, okay, you want to say that this show is so John says yes, please waste your life for our enjoyment. For you I will, John. Here's the deal. Like I always like if you go to early episodes, I always kind of didn't even want to talk about Cornette. You know, here the difference between, you know, you want I guess he could say we're Cornette like because maybe we don't go as crazy as Cornette, and we also don't rail on people just to rail on them. But you know, Cornette just would fucking go at Kenny just because. You know, he would take nothing that Kenny does and talk good about it. Where as with us, it's not like particular. Well, I mean, we have particular people we have issues with, but that's going to be in every company. You know, our thing is the way wrestling is currently, and we were hoping that AEW would take away a lot of what wrestling has become, and it's actually amplified a lot of that fucked up part of wrestling, while it's taken some shit like promos and originality of letting people do what they want to do and their characters and stuff. So that stuff is good. But then there's also things like we talk about where you know, they don't allow like countouts or DQs or refs just looking like fucking bumbling idiots, and they're okay with that. Like Tony Khan was like, we don't care about that, you know, and you know, stuff like that, and the fact that fucking faces win nonstop and heels don't. Like the whole fucking point of wrestling is to make the audience really be involved and feel something, you know, and I don't feel a lot when I watch wrestling anymore. Okay, yes, it's a smart mark thing. You're smart into the business. You know he's good and he's bad. You know, it's almost like Britt Baker. Like we look at Britt Baker currently, right? And you go, well, Britt Baker is getting cheered over the heel, and she's supposed to be a heel. So you know what that's going to do? That's going to basically turn Britt Baker face shortly. All right, because they won't allow that to just be. Okay, she gets cheered. I mean, it is what it is. It's the current state of wrestling. So when it comes to like Britt Baker, I'm sorry, she needs that heel persona. She's great in it. All right, just because the fans love it doesn't mean you have to change that she's a heel.
Well, her heel persona is all she has. She can't wrestle worth a lick. She has is that heel persona. If you turn her into a face, you've got nothing. Like you literally have nothing left for her in that case.
Yeah. But you know, so like, you know, I just thought these were fucking great. So I just wanted to, and okay, the Cornette one was by the Fishman 06. So the Fishman 06, if you obviously you don't like the podcast because you gave us a bad review. Like I said, the fucking people who hate us give us reviews, and the people who love us won't give us reviews. So what the fuck does that say? Here's the deal. Open invitation for you to come on the podcast and have a discussion with us. Open invitation. I doubt you'll hear this, but in case you do, feel free to send us a message on Skype. Say, yo, I'm Fishman. And we'll bring you on. We'll have the discussion. You could get your point across and tell and explain to us what we're doing that you feel is, obviously we see, you don't like the negativity, blah, 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 whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, the fact is the fact. I'll gladly debate you anytime about the current pro wrestling. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And I'm sure Alan will too. The problem with today's marks are they're fucking, they don't care. Like, I don't know where wrestling went from caring about the story and the drama of it to just wanting to see guys do crazy shit. Because if that's the case, then go watch Cirque du Soleil. It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. If you want to just see crazy shit, Cirque du Soleil will be in your city sometime this year. Okay, maybe not this year because of COVID, but starting back up probably next year. You see people from all over the world doing fancy shit. Okay? If that's what you want to watch, go watch that. This is professional wrestling. Drama is part of professional wrestling. Storytelling is part of professional wrestling. I hate watching a fucking match where, guys go chop for chop or elbow for forearm for forearm. And then guys do a crazy fucking finisher move and the guy no-sells it. Or guys do 4 finisher moves, don't finish a match. Then the guy fucking almost gets counted. Then that same guy almost gets counted out he gets to 9, gets in before 10, does 1 move in 3 seconds and wins a fucking match. After he was almost counted out. So, this is fucking what I hate about wrestling and the shit that's going on that's not being fine-tooth combed and fixed. So call me Cornette Jr., call Alan Cornette Jr., whatever. Say the show's negative. Bro, we're going to tell you the fucking truth. If we love something, we're going to tell you the fucking truth. We're not going to lie to you and make you fucking feel all warm and cozy just because you want to feel warm and cozy. I fucking hate WWE fans, bro. I think I'm starting to hate AEW fans more than WWE fans. It's fucking sad. I honestly, you can't say a fucking bad thing about AEW. The fact is a fact. I'm going to tell you bad shit. I love it. I support it. I want it to succeed. But you don't want to hear shit. You're fucking blind, bro. You're fucking blind. You got blinders on. You're just like WWE fans. All right? And they're the fucking worst. The fucking worst. They've always been the worst. They've been the worst since the fucking 80s. And I've been through it all. I've seen it all with WWF, WWE fans. I see it on the internet now. I remember it in the 90s. I remember it in the late 80s. WWE fans are out of their fucking mind. They've always been just fucking atrocious. And AEW fans legit are the opposite side of the same coin. And that's facts. So if you don't like opinions and you just want rah, 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 you've come to the wrong motherfucking podcast. Because I was rah, rah, rah as fuck to begin with. And sorry, I expected change. They've changed little things over the last 2 years. I've expected way more change than they've given. They're doing some good stuff. I like a lot of people on the show. Honestly, this week's show, my recap's going to be basically bogus. I didn't even fucking pay attention. I thought the lineup was trash. Next week's lineup is just as trash. There's no interesting matches for me. I don't believe there's any interesting matches next week that I want to watch. So instead of wasting 2 hours straight just watching the show, I'll fuck around on my phone while the match is going on and not even pay half attention to it. And that's just facts. You're not putting on good shows. Obviously, there's good shit probably coming. But, you're back to live shows. You're kind of mailing it in. You did way more good shows when there was nobody in the fucking crowd. Now it's like, who's this versus this? I don't know. I just, there was 1 or 2 good matches, some good segments and shit. But the reality is, it's just factual shit. It might not be your facts, but it's my facts. If you don't like that and you can't handle negativity or you can't handle opinions, then we don't fucking need you anyway. We don't really care, honestly. We're here to speak about what we feel about the show. And we're allowing people to come on the show, but they don't come on the show. You can hey, if you disagree with me, call me. Call us. Get in with us on Skype and disagree with us on air. I'd rather battle it out with you live than, you be like, oh, we ain't listening. Or I don't want to listen because you're this, or tell us we rather have it out with you live, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And that's the thing, we're being told that we're being negative. It's not negativity, it's objectivity. Any podcast worth their salt is not going to be positive 100% of the time. You can watch any of the big guys out there. You can watch Solomon, so you can watch Don, Tony, Kevin Castle. Well, not even Kevin Castle anymore. They've split. But you can watch all these big-time podcasts, and they all try to be objective, and they say a lot of shit, and they give praise just as much as they don't. We have spoken since day one about this product, and I remain of the opinion that this product is shit. But I'm not saying it to be negative. I'm saying it to be, objective based on what I'm seeing. You and I have both been wrestling fans for a very, very, very long time. Me since '84, you since around the same time. And I grew up with WWF. But at the end of the day, the show misses a ton of fundamentals, and it's beginning more and more every week to feel like it is run by somebody who is playing with his action figures in his sandbox. That's literally what it feels like to me. Tony Khan grew up a fan. He took his fandom and he turned into a business, and that's fantastic. Everybody should have that opportunity to be able to do something like that. But that's literally what he's done, is that he's taking it's like he's playing with action figures. And he doesn't care about the rules. He doesn't care about the history of how the business works. And I'm very curious, because this kind of can lead into, what is going to be one of the big miscellaneous things. I'm very curious to see what is going to happen if, in fact, we do get Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. Because these are two guys who have been around the block for a very long time. And I cannot see them being in the back looking at this going, oh, yeah, that's great. They're going to have a lot to say if they really do come here about this product.
Listen, I think Punk more so than Bryan Danielson, because Bryan Danielson was part of that PWG stuff where this stuff was this clowning fucking wrestling went on a lot. I mean, you saw him and Kenny match, right?
Well, yeah. Match with them. I feel like he's grown since that,
wrestling.
though. No, I mean,
yes, and he also did a lot of legitimate wrestling on the indies. But I think he sees the that type of stuff. He'll probably look at it and be like, "Well, I've done it before. What can I say about it?" As to where Punk was kind of the era before. I think Punk is like a little bit before Danielson, where he was a king of the indies for a long time. He got into WWE, towards the end of his when he was a lot older, and now he's probably 40 something, so 43. He's
getting up there. He's getting close to our age, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 43. He's probably my age or older. But I remember CM Punk back in the early. Man, was he in the 90s?
He was.
I remember seeing it. Maybe the early, maybe in the 90s and the early 2000s. I remember seeing his name, and then he finally got to the WWE in the late aughts or
like the mid-aughts. The mid-aughts or so is when CM Punk showed up, and then he was there for a bit before he actually became big.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see him being a little more old school with it. I mean, you look at the way these matches, like that Hardy Christian Cage match. I mean, I think me and Big Dub spoke about it. What was that last week, right? Not this past week. The ending to that match, who the fuck booked that? Because if you have, say Malenko was your agent on this, right? What is Malenko thinking? They hit all these fucking finishers, all these big moves. Christian's out to count of 9. Gets in after all these big moves happen. He's outside, count of 9, gets in, does 4 seconds worth of fucking maneuvering, and wins the match. It makes no fucking sense. If Arn Anderson, fucking Jerry Lynn, Malenko, if one of these fucking guys did this match, put this match together, it's shame on them. Shame on them. And I'm sorry, you go, oh, well, you want to, like, these guys, they want to try to let these fucking kids, do what they do today. That's not pro wrestling. You're supposed to carry on the legacy of what pro wrestling is. All right? Start doing what you guys used to do. Bring back those stories and that feeling. Don't just don't just go like kind of mail it in like, oh, this is what kids do. This is what wrestling is. Wrestling isn't what WWE made it. Wrestling is what the fuck it's always been from God knows when, especially the 70s and 80s and 90s. There was a lot. I mean, that's, where the story I felt, even the 60s where, beyond that, of course, there's not a lot of footage. So, it was more like marathon style matches, and it was less about the glitz and glamour. But the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it was all about the story, the wrestlers. Make it about that again. I mean, this is not a hard fucking sell. When you watch a movie, you don't watch it just to see fucking fast action. You watch a movie for a good story. You watch television shows for a good story. You should watch wrestling for a good story. It's all about emotion. Wrestling is built on emotion, and there's no fucking emotion in professional wrestling. I don't fucking feel any emotion when I watch.
No.
There's very few times I feel emotion. Like I said, you want to fucking voice your opinion on this show? Fucking Skype is in the link. Send us a message. We will gladly bring you on the show and you can have your say and you could battle us on any topic that you disagree with us with at any fucking time. It's that simple. Until then, fuck your 1-star review and fuck anybody who likes us who's not giving us 5-star reviews, because fuck you too. Why are the 1-star guys giving us reviews and you're not giving us 5 stars? Fuck you, okay? And fuck you guys in the chat, even though we love you. Listen, I'm having a little fun with it here, but in all seriousness, come on the show with us.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the whole show. I just mean come on and battle us for 10, 15 minutes and let's talk.
I would legit like to see somebody professionally defend this. I really would. Like, I'd love to see what you and I are possibly not seeing, and I'd like to see somebody try to enlighten us to that.
Yeah,
because,
please do.
And you brought up a point earlier about, Malenko and Anderson, that maybe they're just like, oh, this is what the kids, are doing today. That worries me if we are getting to the point where the previous generation is just like, well, this is the way it is today. Let's just go with it. If that's the case, this business is done. It's over because you're not going to have anybody coming up who's going to have been taught the right way by guys like Anderson and Malenko.
Exactly. Dude, you see who some of the trainers are to these new wrestlers, and like you see, you go, oh, wait a minute, you go, Chuck Taylor trained so and so. Oh my God, Mr. fucking Lazy in the ring, he's your trainer. That's fucked.
That says a lot.
That's fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple. I just don't. I don't know. Like, the art of wrestling is going to be lost. And you're basically going to have weekly Cirque du Soleil. So if that's what you want, so fucking be it. That's the wrestling you like. I mean, whatever. These young kids think they know what the fuck wrestling is, bro. They wouldn't know what wrestling was if it slapped them in the mouth like Dr. David David Schultz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's they definitely need a Stossel moment.
I'd legit be very curious to see, like, also how old this person is, because, like, if this is someone who's old school, been with it from the beginning, I'd be very curious to hear what they have to say. If there's someone like their early 20s, and it's just like, yo, you just not been there, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. Me and you are like at this, like I'm a little later than you. You're a little earlier than me, obviously. Mine's like more late 80s is where I really. Wrestling to me, really, I understood it. We discussed this age. At a certain age, you start to really understand stuff and look at it in terms of, like, sports and stuff and as a weekly show or whatever. So, I feel like I came in at a very good time in wrestling and understood it. And I really wish I had come in like the more early 80s. I was obviously way too young to understand it back then. But I would have loved to watch a lot more territories and NWA and, from say like 80 on, that would have been amazing.
Oh yeah.
For me, all I have now is tape, so I could go back. But I also have that 80s and early 90s into like the late 90s to early 2000s. I have that wrestling mindset. Obviously the mid to late 90s started getting where you start becoming a smart mark because of the internet and all that shit. But I still have that 80s and 90s fucking mindset of how pro wrestling really shines. You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like, it's the story, the bigger than life characters. It's all that stuff, man. And Ric Flair, Hogan, Macho Man, Sting, Vader. These guys were all bigger than life characters, and there was always great stories built around all these guys. So, that's to me, that's just something that's lost in professional wrestling. That without that, that's not, like, it's, in my opinion, not professional wrestling.
No, it's true.
So, I mean, I've waxed on about it. This guy's gonna love that we gave him this much time on these two guys are gonna love that we gave him this much time. But it's more like, put your money where your mouth is, bro. Like, we're here.
Yep.
You could go and put your little fake fucking name and give your opinion on the show, but we've clearly every single show at the opening said it. Join us on Skype if you got something.
Oh yeah,
to say.
from the very beginning.
No one's
Nope.
done it. No one's done it. Like, this is good stuff, bad stuff, whatever you want to say. You want to talk about the show, our show, AEW, the week's info, whatever. So it's there. I mean, it's up to you to take advantage of it. But I mean, you could put your rating. I thought it was fucking funny. I'll give you that. I mean, the Cornette Light stuff cracked me up, and the Jersey version, that was funny. So whatever. I guess we'll just move the fuck on from this. We'll see how much balls you got, or if you even hear this, that hit us up and get on the show sometime. I'll gladly fucking sit here and debate pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, no, same here.
So, all right, let's move the fuck on. What's up, Dub? Well, let's see what Dub said. Good to see you back, Alan. Hope your summer as Eddy is enjoyable.
Thanks, Dub.
His name is no longer Alan. It is fucking Howard Stern. Let's see. Big Dub says, hey, where's that pasty guy from last week? You're right there in the chat, baby. His fans are super fickle, and Tony doesn't know how to tune them out like Vince McMahon does. I think Tony is just. Here's my issue with Tony. I think Tony, he's a product of ECW and Attitude Era.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's some good stuff. I didn't watch Attitude WWE stuff. I watched WCW, and I did watch ECW. There was some good stuff, regardless, but there was a lot of just utter trash. And I've said this before, ECW was basically the downfall of refs and inanimate objects, not being in every wrestling match. Because it's always a chair, it's a fucking table. I love that stuff, but when it just becomes that, okay. I loved when Sabu broke out a chair and a table. You know what? I loved when Sabu did it. I didn't need Sting to have a table and a chair. I didn't need Ric Flair to have a table and a chair. It's Sabu, it worked. There was a whole fucking thing around it. I loved Sabu. I loved the table. I loved his springboard off the chair, springboard, moonsault onto a table. I love that shit. But then it just ECW just changed the business as a whole when it came to just no rules. All right. If that's the case, then every fucking match, it should just be no rules at this point. Because why do you have a Texas death match or a street fight or anything when every fucking match is a fucking street fight? Basically, there are no rules. Refs do not enforce rules nowadays. Refs are made to look stupid nowadays. Tony Khan was asked, why are refs made to look stupid in a tag match? We don't care about that. That doesn't matter.
You know what it basically means? And again, this goes back.
He said it!
This goes back to my action figure reference. The refs are there to be there as, a ref is part of a match. I'm going to place this ref in the ring. That's what they're there for. And that's sad because it's disrespectful to the refs. Because they do look like idiots.
This is Tony Khan's own fucking
words,
not verbatim. I obviously am fucking taking my own liberties with it, but he said they don't fucking matter.
He basically doesn't respect or care about the role of a referee in professional wrestling. So why should we?
There should be 0 refs.
Yeah, just no refs. None. Exactly. There should be no refs in the ring.
No refs. Anyway. All right, I have 0 miscellaneous. I'm sure you do. I know there's a bunch of miscellaneous, so let's get.
I mean, for me, it was really mostly about Punk and Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, the rumors that they're.
It sounds like it's a done deal for the two of them, but until it's actually happened, it's.
We've heard that a lot. So, where's Mel? We need Mel. That's another thing.
Where is Mel?
Fuck, man. I was thinking about her last week, and I was like, where the fuck is Mel? I don't know. Oh, Thunder Rosa signed with AEW.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Not too surprising.
That's big news. Not surprising, but that's big news. Yeah, that is
big news.
So that's good. I definitely could see her as the next champ. I think she'll probably be the one to take it from Britt.
Easily. Yeah, they'll have like a sequel match to their last Blood and Guts match. They'll save it for some big show. And hopefully not the exact same match, but yes, I could see that being how Britt finally loses the belt.
Rumor is Emi Sakurai. What's it? Sakurai? Emi Sakurai. I think it's Emi Sakurai. She trains a lot of Japanese women. The rumor is that she's basically coming to the States on a one-way ticket, so she'll probably be here a while. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but she trains a lot of women. So either way, I mean, it could be helpful one way or another. So there's that. So some new talent possibly coming and is coming. Not new talent. All right, more talent. I shouldn't say new talent, except obviously Bryan Danielson and Punk if they do. But obviously that looks like it's not going to happen till at least October anyway. So because word is they're going to probably hold Daniels out till that New York.
And when's the Chicago show?
Chicago, that's a good question.
Because that's where they'll have Punk.
That's where Punk will be, yeah.
So whenever that Chicago show is, I'm not exactly sure when it is, but that is where they'll have Punk.
Yeah. Let me think. I mean, was there anything else miscellaneous? There's a lot of shit just been popping up randomly. I don't think so. I think that might be it. Did you see the Waiting Room? Did you watch the new one?
Was it on Dark or Dark Elevation? Because I did not get to watch. My week, the last 2 weeks have been just ridiculous. I have not watched Dark and Dark Elevation the last couple weeks, unfortunately. I usually have it on in the background while I'm working, but work has been absolutely nuts the last 2 weeks, so I did miss it if it was on. Again, that's a program that I wish they would put on Dynamite, but
makes sense. All right, let's start the show. We had Spears and Jericho open up the show. The five labors of Jericho. Labors of Jericho.
Because good God, this feud cannot end. I want to see Punk or Bryan Danielson here just so they can give MJF somebody else to feud with. Yeah. Like this is just like this is enough with these two groups. It's been too long.
So I mean, as far as the match, I didn't pay close attention because I could give two fucks. Decent match though, from what I watched. Sammy takes Tully out of the match when Tully's trying to distract the ref. At the end, we get MJF brings out his next challenge for next week, and it's Nick Gage. Now, I know the name. He's a Jersey guy from what I read up on. He's a deathmatch guy. He robbed the bank. He's almost died. He's died after a death match and brought back to life, apparently. People love Nick Gage, apparently. Yeah.
At least it's different. Okay. I mean, that's nice. I mean, that was actually intriguing that, okay, we're bringing somebody in different.
Right. So there's just whatever. Nick Gage is there. Let me hear your take on the match because I don't have much to give you.
The match itself was okay. Yeah, I don't have too much specific. I mean, it was a decent match. It was. I guess in this case, it was nice to see Jericho and Spears go at it because I don't think I recall them ever being in a one-on-one. If they were, I don't remember it in any federation. So I thought it was decent. I thought they had good chemistry. Again, you got chairs and everything else happening. So, like you said, when every match is a street fight, none of them are. And other than that, Sammy got involved. Sammy was, chasing Tully up the ramp. So this is again one of those matches where it was a decent match, but there was just a lot of outside involvement that kind of takes away from it.
I didn't think there was that much outside involvement. I thought it was quick. It was it's what you would expect from Tully, and Sammy really just got rid of Tully, so I didn't mind that. One thing that I liked from this match was Jericho was doing the 10 punches in the corner. He got to 9, and he does a moonsault off the top, which is pretty cool. Not a moonsault, I'm sorry, a hurricanrana. So he does it one off the top rope, and the fans start putting up the 10. Like I guess that used to be Spears'
thing because he was 10. Yeah, he was 10. So that was actually pretty cool.
So that was
a nice
cool.
callback.
I did like that. Yeah, shout out to connecting people through wrestling. He's in the chat right now. What's up, bro? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so that was it. That was basic shit on that match. We got Miro in the promo. Nothing massive there. Just typical Miro keeping himself relevant. I guess they're just keeping him relevant when he's not on TV, giving him a promo. Not bad.
Yeah, he just put the whole roster on notice.
Basically, nothing massive. Next up, we had Gallows versus Kazarian. Blah. That's my notes. For this match. Blah.
Nothing about it really. I mean, it was an okay match. It was nothing to really write home about.
Right. Kazarian loses, and the heel wins. That's great. But Kazarian's on this. I don't know really what they're doing with this Elite Hunter thing. I mean, it seems like it's kind of a thing, kind of a not a thing, kind of a fringe thing where it doesn't even matter, even though it's there. So who knows? The best part of this was what came after the match.
Yes.
So Omega comes out at the end. Omega's trying to say the Elite Hunter has become the Elite Hunted. He starts to say the Elite Hunter has become, and then he leans into Don, and Don basically tells him what to say. And I thought that was great. I was really good. Like Kenny couldn't come up with something, so he needed Don. It's kind of a fucking middle finger to, I guess, the fans. Maybe that's one way you could take it. I really enjoyed that part of the segment. You got Hangman coming out to confront them. Because it looks like they're going to go after Kazarian. He goes right after Gallows and Anderson right away. That allows Kenny to bail. Of course, they get the upper hand on Hangman, but Dark Order makes a save. The whole thing was great. Kenny's killing it. I love the stupid beard mustache fucking combo he's got going on.
Yeah, it looks really douchey.
I think he looks great. He looks great with it. I can't wait for this action figure to come out with this fucking look. Hopefully it comes with those really ugly, pointy fucking Sicario Mexican cartel fucking shoes that he has.
That's exactly what he looks like, actually. That's his look now. They they almost need to build his persona around that because it's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, so I'm loving what Kenny's doing, man. Fuck anybody who hates it. And you know who hates it? All those fucking Cirque du Soleil loving fucking marks. Go fuck yourselves. What's your take on the end of that?
Oh no, it was great, and again they're setting up more with Hangman Page and Kenny, so they're milking it nicely. They're not shooting their load too quickly with it.
When do you think they're gonna culminate this? Next pay-per-view?
I think it's gonna have to be the next pay-per-view. I feel like it needs to be a bigger show, but I don't think you could really stretch this past the next pay-per-view unless they're planning for this to be.
You don't think Revolution? They can't get to Revolution?
Revolution's February.
February, March-ish.
They could. Maybe instead what they do next show is maybe they have a tag match. Like a major tag match.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Yeah. Which is going to be the Survivor Series style match is coming up. When is that?
That's
next week? Or
no, week after next, I think. You know what? I'm not exactly sure. But
I don't think it's this week. I think it's
the week after next as well. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that match. That's going to be fun. I want to see how they do this. How they really, how they handle it.
And I feel like that's enough to just milk it a little bit more. And then maybe this can go to February, March if they play it right.
Yeah. Next up, we had Brian Cage on a promo with Dasha. She shows him a video of Team Taz celebrating, and starts talking about throwing a party. Basically, Cage just says, "That's great because I love parties." Basically, Cage going to be party crashing. I think obviously, I think it was me and Dub last week spoke about he kind of don't want to see that feud go on, but you have to finish that feud.
Yes.
Off. So Ricky Starks is going to be going into this with Brian Cage, most likely.
Yes.
So, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, that should be good.
I don't have any issue with it. I think it'll be fun. All right. Anything from you on that? Did you have?
No, nothing further. That's it.
All right.
Always good to see Dasha.
All right, then we move on. We move on to yeah, definitely good to see Dasha looking thick as ever. Darby versus Yuta. Okay, this was a good match, man. Yuta looked good. I know I kind of shit on him last week, just being a random guy. He is just a random guy. Let's be honest. He keeps it's funny because he's Wheeler Yuta, and there's a guy on Yellowstone that this kid reminds me of. He's like a reluctant farmhand. I don't know if you watch Yellowstone.
I have. I've heard of it. I think I've seen a little bit of it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like this guy reminds me of him, and his name is like Walker Wheeler or some shit. I don't know, like or his name is Walker, but I just in my mind keep going like Walker Wheeler, and like I'm like it fucking reminds me of this guy so much. Or maybe Walker Wheeler is like a fucking country guy, and it's just I'm kind of conflating like a name with these two other guys, and these two guys I'm like they remind me of each other. So, but no, he looked good. Listen, he's pretty basic. He's good in the ring, but he again, Cirque du Soleil or storytelling. He's young. Listen, he's young, obviously, but the problem is. He doesn't remind me of somebody that's ever going to come out of just being Cirque du Soleil. You know what I'm saying? I look at this guy and I don't go, "Oh, he's gonna be the guy that ticks the box." Right. You know, that's just factual. Okay, now there was a moment in this match. I liked it, but. It's like my body's ripped in half, you know? I liked it because I just, but I also was like, fuck, Sting and Orange Cassidy had a little stare down. Orange puts the hands in the pants. Before Orange does anything, Sting kicks him, does the sloth kick. Crowd pops. Oh! Orange returns. Oh! Then they both back up and they both super kick each other's feet. Sloth super kicks. Darby's looking at Sting like, what the fuck's going on? Then he gets taken out from behind. Then Sting's like, oh shit. All right, what am I doing? I liked it. It was lighthearted. They're both faces. I'm sure Sting in his age is like, now's the time I could do some stupid shit and be good with it, Man, it's kind of like I can enjoy some stuff like that occasionally. I just can't. It just can't be half a show of jokes and bullshit. So as much as I don't like too much of that stuff, I was okay with it, Not that it's my favorite thing to happen, but it was just a fun little spot.
Yeah. If it's in small doses, it's good.
Right. It wasn't, listen, I'm just glad we're not seeing best friends out.
No, exactly. Brothers. This is much better.
So after this match, Blade attacks Orange with the brass knucks, lays him out. They're wrestling later in the show. So try to get a little upper hand on him. Let's see what you got. What you got on this match?
No, match was okay. I mean, like you said, Wheeler Yuta is very Cirque du Soleil, kind of style. But I consider it, I liked how they floated the ring together, considering, his size and Darby's size, and it worked well in that regard.
And he's right, and he's probably very young in
his career. I think he's very young too. So it is.
So he looked sharp.
He did. So I'd like to see more of him if there's more that he can do besides that. I mean, I think that having him as a first match, against Darby Allin is a nice way to do a showcase. Yeah. And I also loved the Sting Cassidy thing was great, as long as, again, it's done in small doses. It's obviously something that works best with the crowd. Like that moment would not have worked as well without a crowd.
No,
so that helped quite a bit.
Would have been wasted, yeah. After this match, we get a nice video package for Mox and Archer, so that was cool. Next up, we get Britt versus Nyla. All right,
oh boy!
So a Russian leg sweep. I put capital yes, capital letters yes. Nice to see a Russian leg sweep. Anytime I see those, I start fucking getting reminiscent of the 80s and 90s. Okay, now this is not meant, because I don't like going against. All right, I'm gonna tread into this lightly, because I don't want to seem like I am for being against it, if that makes sense. So, okay, when it comes to transgenders in sports, okay, I am not for it. When it comes to transgender in wrestling, it doesn't bother me at all, because it's fake. Okay, it's fake. It's that simple. It's fucking fake. Get the fuck over it. Just get over it. I don't personally care what you do with your life. If you want to transition to a man or a woman or whatever, I don't care. Anybody who fucking does care, get a fucking life and grow up. It's that simple. Real sports, I agree. A man should not be in transitioning to a woman and be able to fight MMA, weightlift, stuff like that. I just think it's unfair advantage, So with that being said, Tony Schiavone, I don't know if you caught it, but he's like, she's got him when Britt had the upper hand on Nyla. And I was like, oof. I was like, you just fucked big time.
That's going to be on Botchamania.
At one point he said that, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my God. It was, listen, it's fucking funny that he fucked up like that, but I also am not promoting this as an anti-transgender thing. So, I don't want that to be misconstrued by anybody listening. All right. I don't agree with you if you're that big of a fucking baby and a child that you can't just let people live whatever life they want to live. All right. Obviously there's minor ins and outs, bathrooms with kids, etc. I don't give a fuck about all that. That's not what we're talking about here. It's a fake fucking sport. It's scripted. It's that simple, This ain't MMA, Fallon Fox thing in MMA, I totally disagreed with. Just beating the shit out of women just because, she was transitioning to a woman, he transitioned to a woman, and, she decided she wanted to do MMA and, or was doing MMA and just now was doing it as a woman and beating the shit out of other women, you know. So anyway, that's here and there in terms of like, I just don't want, you know, because like this is a subject that you touch and people think, oh, he agreed, like, because I thought Shivani fucking up was kind of like, oh shit, like I laughed at it. I don't, you know, I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but then, you know, people start to go, oh, well, I could say this and that to him. No, man, you can't say, like, I don't agree with you. You know, you're just fucking childish. You're just a fucking, you know, you're just a bigot in certain, you know, like everybody's bigoted. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own opinions on shit. But, you know, like for me, it's just like, what the fuck does it bother you for? Because I never have a problem. Like, no, in my life, I've never been like, bothered by a transgender person at all.
No.
Ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that. So anyway, I just had to preface all that because of the Shivani thing. I had to obviously bring the Shivani thing up. You know, it just was kind of like oh shit, like what do you do? For the match itself, lazy and sloppy, man. I mean, Britt is just slow and lazy. She's sloppy. You know, not the whole match, obviously, but there were parts where she's just fucking meandering. She kind of, like, to get up, she takes fucking forever. She rolls around and does it slow and doesn't, you know, like, be a little more sure-footed, be a little faster, and it wouldn't look so bad. But a lot of times it looks like she's just floundering.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, Nyla Rose is not an opponent where that could be hidden. You know? Right.
Nyla Rose, like, in my opinion, has actually looked like she stepped back.
Yeah.
In talent.
She has.
Like, she's looking like she first did. She had a bunch of good matches where she was looking good, wasn't being as sloppy. Now she looked even sloppier this match. But again, let's see. It takes two to tango. Yeah. So you got fucking, she's in a match with Britt, doesn't help either. You know. But it's a typical Britt match. Everybody loves Britt. Everybody blind to the fact that she can't wrestle for shit. You know, I listen. I love Britt. I love her character. I just don't love her as a wrestler.
Right. It's the one thing she doesn't do well is the actual wrestling.
Right. I'll say it again. As a fucking champion, you should be able to carry a match. She should not be champion.
Yep. And I don't think it happened during this match, but she's been wrestling with a broken wrist. Did you hear about this?
Okay. I don't know that she's been wrestling with it, but that was my next note here. Was when the ref went to raise her hand, she grabbed her arm and goes, "Ow!" So I noticed that, and then I've come to find out that she's in a cast. So I confirm. Like, I took a note yesterday so she had a picture with Paige Van Zant from Bear. She was in the she was probably at the bare knuckle fights Friday, and she had a picture with Paige Van Zant, and she was in a thing, cast. So I'm guessing that she either broke it in the match, or you're saying she had it for...
It sounds like she's been wrestling with it. She tweeted afterwards saying that she's been wrestling with a broken wrist and she doesn't plan on taking any time off. Okay. She said something to the effect of, "Look what I accomplished," and with a broken wrist, no less. So exactly. I don't know if it happened.
No, that's what I saw. That's the one with Paige Van Zant.
The tweet?
Is it
No, she tweeted after she won this match.
Right after
the match. And she basically said, you know, "Look what I've accomplished," and with a broken wrist, no less, and no, I'm not taking any time off. Something to that. I'm completely paraphrasing, but yeah. So I don't know whether or not it happened in the match or if she's had it and she's been wrestling with it. Yeah.
Go ahead. What's your take?
It was sloppy, like you said. I mean, you know, Nyla has taken a step back with her in-ring work, and the last thing you really want is to have somebody who's taking a step back with somebody who's never taken a step forward, and together they just don't really mesh very well. So, you know, Britt looks like $1 million. Her personality is fantastic. The promo work is fantastic. She could do everything but wrestle, basically, is what it is.
And listen, we know the wrestling will come, but she just, I think she needs to get off that laziness too. That doesn't help her. It's like we were just talking about Chuck Taylor. He's fucking lazy. It's lazy selling, lazy making it look like he's actually waiting for a tag. It's the same with her. It's just a lot of lazy shit going on with her.
Yeah.
So. All right, if that's all you have on that, we'll move on. All right, then we get a weird press conference with Santana Ortiz and FTR. This was basically awkward and useless in my opinion. And I love both these teams. I just thought it didn't need to be done. Just didn't need to happen.
It felt really wasteful having this even here.
It would have been better if FTR did something to Santana and Ortiz in the back, like the week prior when Santana and Ortiz confront Tully. You know what I mean? It would have been better if you had that. I love both of these teams. I really think Santana and Ortiz need gold soon. They really need gold soon. No question. I mean, they're not being fucking, Speaking of needs gold soon, how about fucking the Acclaimed? What the fuck are you doing, Tony Khan? What are you doing? They're jobbing on fucking Dark to fucking Varsity Blondes. I'm gonna keep mentioning this shit.
I couldn't get over that.
They go from number one contender to fucking jobbing on Dark to the Blondes.
Makes you wonder if did they do something wrong? Is there heat on them in the back? Maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, apparently they're still throwing out good freestyles. I got to go. That's the one thing I need to do in Dark Elevation. I miss their freestyles because when I used to skim through just to see what I would pick up for our show, I would listen to their freestyles definitely. But I haven't. So that's one thing I have to go back.
Did I hear that, because again, I have been missing it the last couple of weeks. They apparently said something about Julia Hart getting double teamed or something like that.
In France? I don't know. I forget. One of the guys said that in the chat. I don't know what it's referring to.
I mean, that's
maybe
really not cool. Like, if they said that, I mean, she's 19 years old. It's just like, you're including that in your bit? I'd maybe pull back on that one a little bit.
She must have. Hopefully, hopefully, it was within the last year or two.
Yeah. That I think they got to be very careful with.
Maybe they were. Maybe these. I didn't hear it, so maybe they were referring. He was just making a joke, like referring to Pillman and Garrison being, But still, I mean, that's one of the things I love about the Acclaimed and especially Max Caster. It's like he does what he does, and I think it's great. So, all right, moving on. We get an Andrade promo. Basically, his big announcement: Chavo Guerrero Jr., baby.
Jeez.
I love Chavo in WCW. Yeah. This is before he became a big star in WWF with Eddy and stuff. In my opinion, he did some good stuff in WCW as he went on, but the Pepe gimmick he had, I always loved it. He came out with the fucking horse on a stick. Just loved it. Thought Chavo could wrestle his ass off. I forget exactly what he won. I think he won the Cruiserweight title. He did. He did some stuff in WCW later on in his run. Early on, he was more just like a jobber. But I love Chavo. It's good to see him back. He didn't have the best fucking promo out there.
He was a little stiff.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he killed it. He was a little like too pandering for you're trying to be a heel. Andrade's a heel, and you're coming out with this pandering face stuff. Kind of didn't serve the purpose, And
again, we have a thing where, Tony Schiavone is introducing Andrade, and what happens when Andrade comes into the ring? Takes the fucking microphone from Tony Schiavone.
Yep. Well, Tony almost got through the last week, but promo. But I forget who it was against. Me and Dub talked about it, but it was kind of time for Schiavone to give it up. He got through all of it.
Yeah, and that's cool. See, when that happens, that's cool. But anyway.
All right. Where am I here? Okay. Death Triangle comes out, says Andrade has been looking for them. Andrade basically says he wants Penta and Phoenix to work for him and not Pac. Pac grabs a mic. He says, "They don't work for me. They're my team. We're a team. You know, this isn't a who works for who." They all run in, and Andrade bails. So this is setting up something. Will Andrade end up with Phoenix and Penta? Maybe, maybe not. I think... I don't know that would be a good fit. I get that they're all Mexican and stuff.
I think that could work.
You know, there's that. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe. I guess Pac goes back on his own.
Better than Penta being a freaking face.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So that alone.
But here's the deal. If you're ever gonna split Penta and Phoenix, they're gonna have to go because Phoenix is a face.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
So you know, there has to either be a split or just you kind of take them away from each other, like Scorpio Sky and SCU. You know. I really think that I love this. They're allowing Andrade to put the Spanish in there. They're allowing Phoenix and Penta to put this. I just really dig it. I love that Penta is spitting out in Spanish, and then he gives it. He knows to put the mic to Alex Abrantes or whatever. I forget. I think that's his last name.
Abrantes.
Yeah, and you know he translates for him. I fucking love that. To me, that adds like to that.
I agree.
Like I don't know. Like this is like I don't know if WWF really did a lot of that or lets a lot of like the Japanese stars speak that often or like I love that AEW does that. I've said it a million times. I'll keep saying it. I really think it brings a good another angle to the show, a good flavor to the show. It allows them on top of that to learn to be comfortable speaking a second language in front of an audience, you know, which only helps them grow in learning that second language as well. So I just loved everything, you know, with that. So what do you got in general on this, if anything else?
I mean, yeah, it was very cool to see Chavo. I think he did sound a little, not off, but a little rusty. But I like the pairing. I think that Chavo paired with Andrade really does work.
Better than fucking
exactly. So I'm glad that they decided to go that route. And we'll see what they do with it. We'll see if Chavo gets involved with anything physically or whatnot. But I think it's definitely a step in the right direction for Andrade.
What's up, Eddie? Eddie's watching.
What's up, Eddie?
Yeah, definitely a better step if we get rid of what's her face? Why am I blanking on her name? God damn it!
One Guerrero for another.
Yes, I'll take one Guerrero for another every time. All right, next up we get the Orange versus Blade matchup. Feel free to take over here because I got nothing for you.
What do I have on this one? Well, Blade, of course, didn't think that Cassidy was going to be coming out because he hit it with brass knucks. Yep. So he wanted his hand immediately raised. Cassidy slips in. He drops Blade. He looks for Orange Punch. What do I have back here then too? Blade gets back in, puts down Cassidy. So Cassidy backed away and waits while talking to the referee. And I thought to myself, they're doing something with the ref in this. That's interesting. The ref is not just a plant who's just doing nothing. They're actually having them converse, which was interesting. And Blade booted Cassidy, who recovered, hit the Slung Dong Billionaire, which I think is a cool move. Actually, I like that move quite a bit. And then Blade hit a gut wrench. They got to a point where they were just yelling at each other with Blade near Statlander. So Buddy hopped on the apron. Statlander runs out, pulls her down. They get involved. And while they're getting involved, match is still going on. A bit of a back and forth. I don't think really much to speak to other than that. But because Buddy kept getting on the apron, basically during the match. And Cassidy was able to get to a point where he recovered. And he got another cover. Buddy came on the apron again. She got pulled down. And let's see, Statlander pulled her down as she threw the brass knuckles. Is what happened there, if I recall correct.
She overthrew him, it looked
them.
like, too, right? He had to, like, fucking... he had to scramble for him.
Exactly. She threw him way too far.
I remember seeing that.
Blade did take the knucks, though. Cassidy ducked. He landed an orange punch after missing the first one and got the cover. So, yeah, it was okay. It was entertaining. A lot, though, again, Bunny and Statlander getting involved. It got a little distracting there, but...
I believe they're in a tag match next week, right? It's Statlander. Who's with Statlander?
It's not Cassidy?
What? No. No, it's a female tag match.
It's not mixed tag. Okay. No, you know what? I'm not sure then.
No. I can't remember.
Hold on. I did take some notes with this, I think.
Brutus is up if you want it.
Brutus? Oh.
Yeah.
We're talking Target. Nah, I'm good, but thank you.
All right.
Macho Man, maybe.
Eddie's in the fucking Facebook link.
Yeah,
right
Eddie,
now.
Macho Man goes up. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know about Wave 11.
Thank you, though. I don't see anything for next week, actually. That's happening on Dynamite? I don't see it on the list for next week. I could be missing it. Yeah, I'm looking right now at the list for next week, and I do not see Statlander or the Bunny on there. No.
You sure?
I mean, I'm looking at the notes that I took down here. And I'm also looking at another site that has up the matches for next week. And I don't see it. It's possible they're just missing it.
Let's see. Let's go to their
I would
website.
say unless they're having their tag match on another program on Dark or Dark Elevation.
No, I think I thought I saw it in the whole list there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't go on their website, so I don't really know exactly where to look. Where to look for the exact matchups. Fight for the Fallen was that 28th. Here we go. Details. Okay, here we go. Yep, next week the 10-man tag. Elimination rules. That's funny. Fucking in this picture, Kenny looks like Jake the Snake Roberts. It's crazy. He really does, dude.
You know, that's the thing. He's starting to get that look now a bit. He really is.
Okay, it's all right. It's not showing on here.
Maybe it's not for next week then.
Yeah, maybe it's not next week. Maybe it's yeah, and the week after show preview's not showing up.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I thought I saw the little, you know how they have the little versus images. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a tag. It was Bunny and somebody versus Statlander and somebody. For some reason, I can't. It's just drawing a blank on me. All right. Anyway, we'll move on to the next. We got Jericho in a promo, basically with his back turned. I don't remember who was doing the promo. I didn't pay close attention to what he said, but he basically said he needs to bring out somebody to get, you know, on the same level as Nick Gage. So he brings back the Painmaker, which, you know, I expected when he had his back.
Yeah.
turn.
Yeah. Not too
As soon as he turned around, of course, that's what we did. Next up, we got Mox versus Archer in a Texas death match. Now, this is for the IWGP television title. I apologize. United States
right.
title. It was a good match. I love the fork. You know, I love the use of the fork constantly. That choke slam that Mox took on the spines of those chairs, dude, was fucking brutal.
That was very brutal.
When he put them together, the backs of the chairs together, and he did that choke slam, dude, his spinal column was right on that line too, and then chairs did not split and let him fall through. That was fucking brutal.
Yeah,
man.
that was painful.
They barely moved. I just like, god damn. I have to tell you, this shocked the living shit out of me that Moxley lost that title on AEW television.
I was absolutely shocked. I felt like it was a bit of it was a nice shock, but I felt like it was a bit of a waste. I felt like they could have really saved that for a bigger show to have him lose that title, you know? I was shocked, but I was also disappointed because I felt like they could have had him with that belt for a while more, and they could have, I don't know. Archer's great. Archer's fine. I just don't know if that would have been who I would have had him lose to.
Well, all right, let's discuss this in a second. Here's one thing. I would before, like, I just am surprised they allowed it to be change hands on another company's television.
Yeah.
That surprised me. He lost the title on a count out, which was interesting. Is that how death matches work? Texas death matches work? Was there something I missed in the?
I'll be honest. I am not a Texas death match expert, so I can't say if that's true.
My whole thing is in the Texas death match is basically like brawl wherever the fuck. It's like a fucking street fight almost.
Yeah,
right?
I mean it technically is, but there's some other rules to it, I believe.
Yeah, I'd have to. I don't pay attention close to this shit, and from the past, I don't remember specifically stipulations on countouts. But okay, so that was interesting. I don't mind the countout loss. I like it. It protects Moxley to a degree. Both guys are faces at the moment, so protecting one of them is fine. It gives you a different look of a win, which is cool. I'm into it. It's again something different, an emotion.
Yes.
Now you feel like Moxley didn't. He just got counted out. I want to see it again. At the end of this, now Hikuleo, I think is his name.
Yes.
Hikuleo. It's Haku's
That's
son.
right.
I didn't realize this kid was fucking.
That's
ginormous.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know the kid was ginormous. Jimmy probably did. Jimmy's a fucking God, dick sucker. So is he the second guy in God with
I believe
Tama?
so.
Okay. Basically he confronts Archer. They get in a face off in the ring, which was cool. So they're gonna wrestle next week. That's on next week's card for the IWGP US title. Here's my concern. Okay, I don't think he's gonna win. Couple reasons. Archer just won it. All right. If you're gonna give it to Archer, just to give it to Hikuleo,
why not just have Moxley lose to Hikuleo? I agree. Right. I was thinking the same thing. I thought the same thing because it was a nice surprise, but I don't know whether or not it would have made much sense. I don't know if there's another reason they may have done it. If something might be up with Moxley.
I don't think anything's up with Moxley. I have a feeling that they're just trying to bring God to the show, and this is the avenue they're using them to backdoor them in. And then I have a feeling maybe Tama might come in and attack the Bucks or Kenny or somebody. Just a guess, because there's so much internet.
Yeah.
Be it fake heat, real heat. I doubt it's real heat. I really do. It's Tama's just seems like the guy who's gone out of his way to make the internet stuff really look kayfabe as fuck. But I don't understand it as much, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe guys who really focus on New Japan, while I used to love it back in the day, Muda, Jushin Liger era and stuff, I can't say I'm versed in it now. So it's like, who knows? But I still either way think it's an interesting twist that he was on the show, and that kind of opens a door for Tonga to be able to get in there and maybe start a little problem with the Elite. And I have a feeling that once this Kenny Omega Hangman thing gets done and Japan opens up a little bit and they're able to back and forth with talent, I think that's when the Elite and Bullet Club thing is really going to come to an end.
I think so too. This is a good avenue for that if that's the way they're going to go. But again, I just don't I think it would have been more money to have Moxley go up against Hikuleo, if in fact they're going to give him the title. But I don't know. I found it very weird. Like, again, I have no problem with Archer. Archer's fantastic. I just found it such a weird swerve that they give him this title. I just wouldn't have pictured it. You know?
Well, why not? He held the title before.
He did, but I don't know. There's something felt weird about it to me.
I just think it was time for Moxley to lose it anyway. He's had it for a while. He's had it the whole pandemic.
He has. That's true.
So he's had it the whole pandemic, and you got to look at it like this. It goes from him to Archer. Archer's a big dude. Hikuleo's a big dude. So now they're just using that as two big dudes to.
Yeah.
It's kind of that vibe. You know what I mean? So it was time for Moxley to drop the title. Why not drop it to Archer? You know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah.
Because if they, I hope they don't just take it right off Archer.
Nah,
that would be silly. Exactly. It would be dumb. Like if I feel like now the fact that he just won the belt, I feel like he has to win that match, or at least just retain the belt. So. Yeah. But no, it was an interesting, surprising way to go off the air with it. So at least they did something unpredictable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I'm trying to see what really was the highlight of the night. I got to say the whole Kenny Omega thing was like for me the highlight of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the stuff that Omega's doing is really good right now. He is a real, douchebag heel.
Yeah.
So they're playing that up nicely.
Yeah. Like I said, this show was pretty blah for me on paper, and even watching it was pretty blah. Next week's a little more interesting. Hopefully we'll get a little more excitement out of next week's card.
Right.
All right, I guess that's it, man. I mean,
yeah.
Anything else you want to touch base
on? No, I want to reiterate what you said at the beginning of the show. I think you and I both welcome, having folks on here to debate with about this stuff. If we sound like we're negative, again, we gave a very bare bones, review of a show, the positives and the negatives, and we're calling it like it is. I think we're being very objective, Right. And so, yeah, we've been saying this from the very beginning, that we welcome anybody who wants to debate it to come on board and do that.
Like I said, AEW fans are just as bad as WWE. They don't like objective.
Well, that's the thing, too.
If you're not 100% loving everything, it's negative. And it's like, I just want to slap some of these dudes in these fucking groups. It's just like, what is wrong with you? Why are you even on an AEW page if you don't like? Somebody would be like, John Moxley shouldn't have been counted out, and everybody's like, why would you even be on an AEW page if you don't like this? You WWF mark. It's like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's not a whole, being on these pages is not about it being a dick sucking fest. Being on these pages is about being able to express your opinion, to speak about the highs and the lows and what you like and what you don't. Exactly. So,
and listen, it's like I'll say it again. I've said this many times. If you love something, you're not going to lie to it. I'm not going to lie to my mom. I'm going to tell my mom the truth. My brother, I'm going to tell him the truth because I love him. I love my mom. I'm going to tell her the truth. My friends, I love them. I'm not going to lie to them. Alan, if you fucking suck a major dick at something, I'm going to be like, Alan, you suck dick at something.
Oh, you break my balls all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, constantly. But I love you. Like, because I don't want you going on thinking that you're a great graphic designer when the shit looks like fucking Play School Bobby did it, And this is just an example because he's never tried to do a graphic design. I'm just saying, like, if he did something, I wouldn't just fucking rah-rah just because it's Alan. I will support him, obviously, going forward and be like, yeah, but you need to work on it, bro. And of course I get his back at all times. But, I'm not going to fucking just lie just to lie.
Doesn't help anybody.
Not at all. Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the thumb. UncensoredAlliance.com. You find everything we do. The email is AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Use that motherfucking email, too, to get at us. If you got something to say it. If you haven't fucking wrote us a review, fucking write us a review if you like the show. You fucking lazy fucks who like the show.
Yes, we need some
and
positive
won't even
reviews.
Write us a good review. Yeah, we need some positive reviews, man. We get two in a row, fucking 1 stars. We are on Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast. Throw it in the search bar. It'll pop up a page and a group. Like the page, join a group. We've had a bunch of new group members, so that's cool. Means people are seeing it on Facebook, it looks like. We are on all third-party podcast applications, also on Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Please write us those reviews on iTunes. Not just these 1-star fuckers. We need you who like it to fucking write good ones. James, what's up, man? James just
what's up, man?
Say hello in the live chat. Sorry you're here at the end of the show, but please go back and check it out. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to James if you're not, please. Also, like I said, you want to come on the show and tell us what the fuck we're doing so wrong with our negativity, or discuss or battle or whatever the fuck, to have an argument, anything. Skype, link is in the description. Send us a message. We'll link up with you. We'll set it up. You come on a podcast and you tell us how we're being negative, what you dislike about us being negative, what you dislike about the show, what you like about the show, what you like about AEW's show that week, or what you don't like about the show that week. This is what we want on the show. We've offered it all 63 episodes, and we've had yet anybody go, yo, what's up? No chats go, yo, what's up? I want to come on the show and discuss, Sting and Orange Cassidy this week.
Yeah.
Like something like that, or anything. So it's there. It's not like we're closing anybody's opinions out. So we actually want people to be like, yo, do a call-in. Just like every other show has call-ins and stuff. We'd love to have that, but we can't just make shit up. You got to call in.
Word up.
That's about it. Just want to say thank you, everybody who does listen, and fuck those who don't, and fuck those who give us 1 stars, except that hilarious Jim Cornette Light, Jersey Jim Cornette Light. That was pretty fun. But we still would like to talk to you, for real. And thanks, everybody. We will see you next week. Well, Alan in 2 weeks.
Yeah, me in 2 weeks.
3, or is it 3 because you're going back?
No, so I've actually timed it perfectly. I'm out next week, here the following week, then out the following week, then here, and then I'm out the weekend I'm going back. So I timed it perfectly. So yeah, I still got a few more shows here in New York before I go. But I'll see you next Saturday. So
yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We love you. And 3:05 Eastern every Sunday. Please join in live on YouTube or Facebook. We are live on Facebook. You can find us on the page that I described earlier, and it will automatically go live on there every Sunday at 3:05. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll know when we go live on YouTube. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
Peace.
Peace.